Hey there, fight fans. In today's video, Francis Ngannou has lost a multi-million-dollar deal. Also, we are waiting for another long-awaited return, as in March, Jon Jones returned to the octagon and immediately won the heavyweight title. Now, 3 years later, Henry Cejudo wants to repeat the same success of Jon Jones. Then later in this video, it seems that 2 consecutive losses for Leon Edwards were not a tragedy for the former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, but rather brought him back to reality and gave him the necessary motivation. Also, former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman hopes that Khamzat Chimaev, who plans to fight in the middleweight category next, will be staying in the division in order to share the octagon with him. We're going to see exactly what he means. Then at the end of this video, the former UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov has posted a new update on his social media page, revealing that his fans can expect a major announcement from him soon. But what exactly does that mean? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But before we kick things off, I just want to ask you to help subscribe to the channel. As you can see, 91.4% of the people that watch don't subscribe, while only 8.6% of people with a sub do. So thank you to everyone who helps to support us.
Well, every deal is the biggest deal because Francis hasn't got any offers. So not the offers that he wants. And so what is the biggest deal? I think the money was on the table. Things have been offered to Francis. He hasn't accepted them, but he wants more. He wants 3, 4, 5. And UFC offered him. They said like $8 million for the Jon Jones fight.
$1 deal with Asian promotion One Fighting Championship. Francis reportedly had several offers from different promotions, but One FC's president had publicly stated that they plan to give Francis the biggest offer on the table. However, during a meeting between Francis and the One FC president, they were unable to agree on certain issues. And for this reason, One FC decided to cancel the deal. In a statement, One Championship president said that after meeting with Francis for almost 3 hours, they decided to withdraw from the process of bidding for his services. Added that they didn't feel fully aligned with Francis on non-financial matters, and while he acknowledged that Francis is a good guy and a good champion, they decided not to submit a final offer. One Championship president then emphasized that the decision was nothing personal, but simply a lack of alignment. And according to writer Ariel Helwani, the Cameroonian heavyweight refused a contract with the Asian organization at a meeting with its president because he had given verbal consent to the PFL League. Ariel Helwani went on to the MMA Hour saying, "Francis called me and we had a nice chat. His version of events is a bit different. I can talk about it because he did not hide anything and was very open. Francis is close to signing with another organization." According to him, he told One Championship about this and they left the meeting on good terms, as both came to the understanding that if he had already given someone verbal consent, then he would probably not go to One. He understands, and frankly, I understand why Chatri did what he did. He tried to get ahead of the story, save face, and said, "We refuse," instead of saying we couldn't make a deal with him. Francis is very close to signing a contract, and it could happen as early as this week. Now, as you already know, we are about to witness an exciting event at UFC 288. In the main event of the evening, the bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling will be facing former double champ Henry Cejudo. This will be Sterling's 3rd title defense, who has won his last 8 fights and cemented his status as the division's leader.
2 weeks?
That's it.
2 weeks for what?
I'm in shape.
2 weeks for what?
Remember, the clock is ticking.
What are you going to do in 2 weeks?
The time is now. It's ticking. Aljamain Sterling.
Henry Cejudo last fought in May of 2020 when he defeated Dominic Cruz to defend his bantamweight title. After that, Cejudo announced his retirement. And just recently, Cejudo showed off his current form on social media before the fight against Aljamain Sterling at UFC 288, saying, "About this time next week, I will be holding my belt and laughing." Now, UFC bantamweight champ Aljamain Sterling also took to social media to share photos from a workout ahead of UFC 288, as Sterling is spending the last of his days training and sparring with the first in line of the division, Merab Valashvili. So a very intriguing match currently awaits us. Some bookmakers give the same odds for the victory of Aljamain and Henry for a reason, since their chances are, well, really equal. And there are many ifs in this confrontation. For example, Sterling will break Cejudo in the standing position without harming himself if he does not let him into close range, where difficult moments for him near the cage and even takedowns are possible. Now on the ground, the dimensions of the champion will also not play a good role, since in physical terms, Cejudo is very equal to him. Now it is for this reason that betting on a particular victor does not really make a lot of sense. It is much more likely that due to that very legendary downtime, Cejudo may run out of steam by the championship rounds and could be finished. Or Aljo will not withstand the pressure that he proposed in rounds 2 and 3 after that reconnaissance. So although we cannot rule out a 25-minute battle either, overall, what is your prediction? Who do you think will win and how? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below and we move on. So it seems that the 2 consecutive losses to Leon Edwards were not a tragedy for the former UFC welterweight champ, the Nigerian nightmare, Kamaru Usman, but rather brought him back to reality and gave him some necessary motivation. In any case, he now claims that he has fallen in love with the sport once again, saying, "People were more upset about my loss than I was. People were just devastated. I was getting messages all the time," Usman said on Mike Tyson's podcast. Continuing, "I absolutely realize, I know for a fact, that I am still the best welterweight. And now I'm in that place where I'm falling in love with the sport again. I'm loving it again. Now I'm training and feeling stronger," says Kamaru. "I'm doing certain things and I'm loving this process again. I'm loving to fall in love with the sport again. So much so that I might want to beat someone up again in the next couple of months. I'm starting to feel it again, but now it's on my terms." Also, former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman hopes that Khamzat Chimaev, who plans to fight in the middleweight category next, will be staying in the division in order to share the octagon with him, saying,
"Myself, I think, I'm number 1 in the world in that division. I think it's, Khamzat.
I think still Khamzat, technically.
Yeah, so I think, a fight with myself and Khamzat, boom. And if he keeps winning, I think that's a 4th fight for sure." What's the biggest, funnest, most intense fight that really makes me feel that? Khamzat's a fighter and I'm a fighter. For me, it's not necessarily the weight, but if he wants a shot at that welterweight strap, you kind of have to, give a little bit and show that, hey, I can get down here. Yeah. So, if he's able to do it, yeah, potentially. And if it's up at a weight, yeah, potentially as well.
But Chimaev did not make him wait long and already responded, saying someone needs to be retired. Now, I cannot agree with Chimaev, but this is a bad option for Usman. But on the other hand, if this fight does happen and Usman does beat Chimaev, well then that would be the best course of action for him. However, it sounds a little too fairy tale-ish that Usman would beat Chimaev. But what do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments. A former UFC lightweight champ, Khabib Nurmagomedov, posted a new update on his social media page, revealing to his fans that they can expect a major announcement from him soon, saying, "Today, I will make a big announcement for all of my fans. Stay tuned for the news." Now, this statement has intrigued everyone, who are now wondering what Khabib might say. Could he be planning on making a comeback? As you remember, just a few weeks ago, Khabib had a post on social media writing, "In July, I have to be ready, but not in MMA." And then a few days ago, Khabib flew out to Abu Dhabi to check his health before returning, saying there was a check in Abu Dhabi. Some fans started to write that it would be a grappling match because Khabib wrote that it will not be MMA. Or perhaps the announcement is related to football. Recently, Khabib posted a screenshot of the team sheets for Inter Milan, who reached the quarterfinals of the Champions League season. So it is known that Nurmagomedov is a big football fan and is familiar with some many famous football players in the world. So could this announcement be related to football? Well, who knows? These are all just speculations. So we will have to wait and see what Khabib announces. But in any case, his new announcement does promise to be interesting and is expected to have kind of a wide impact in the world of sport. So what do you guys think about this? Don't hesitate to share your opinion. Now that is all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And remember, this is very important, so thank you in advance.